it's Kim Boudreaux Smith. Welcome to December 20th, the launch of Bold is Beautiful book project. I have been waiting so long for this day to introduce you to these beautiful 27 women. And actually, I have two of them physically sitting right here in my studio, so that's very exciting. The rest, everybody else is dialed in and ready to rock and roll today. It is our book launch. These women, as of today, have become international published authors, and we're going for the gold. We're going for bestseller. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the first main ingredient in being bold. Again, I'm Kim Boudreaux Smith. Website is www.bold-isbeautiful-.com. We're broadcasting live from the Bold radio station. That is also www.boldradiostation.com. Before I introduce you to all these women, I want to talk a little bit about here what's been going on. We have been behind the scenes for approximately 4 months, writing our chapters, pulling this whole project together, and today is the launch day. And I know we're all like giddy little kids. We're all so excited. I can't wait for you all to meet them. So what I want to talk about a little bit before we go forward is the number one ingredient in being bold and beautiful is faith. And the opposite of that is fear. See, in order to move forward as a women business owner, you have to have a lot of faith. You have to have a lot of faith in yourself. You have to have a lot of faith in a village, a collaboration, and a community of others, like-minded individuals. And that's what we've created with Bold is Beautiful. This has been going on a private Facebook page among all of us, and it's been a lot of fun. The friendships, the business connections, bottom line, the connecting has been absolutely amazing with these women, how they've come together and they're going to go for the gold. And not only are we going to go for bestseller, but over the weekend we're going to try and shoot for that number one spot. And I know these women can do it. They're excited and ready to go. But let's come on back and talk a little bit about this faith. If you're functioning, boy, I got a lot of F words today, functioning, faith, fear. If you're functioning without that fear, how can you move forward? And I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of these women, including myself, this is my 4th book this year, including myself, I know it took a lot of faith to press that send button to submit their chapters because they are bearing all in this book. They're sharing with all of you what has taken them to arrive to their success in this very given moment, in their lives, in their business, within themselves. So again, I cannot wait for all of you to have this book into your hands so you can meet these women and understand where they're coming from to arrive to this moment. It was a little scary for some of them. I think maybe for all of them. I don't want to talk for all of them, though. They can share that with you very shortly here. It's very nerve-wracking to bear your all like that to the world because this book will go to the world today. But I'm going to say one thing. As everybody is listening, I want all these women to have faith and belief. They're going to either touch one, if not multiple people, and they're going to change their lives with their words. And it's amazing. And you may never, ladies, you may never know this, or you may know this. You may find out from a reader who reaches out to you. But know that you will change. You will change people's lives today when that book hits the market. And also, too, your lives will change, which that's what I'm excited about, is everybody that is involved. So again, the first ingredient in being bold and remaining oh so beautiful is faith. And the other side of that is fear. And that fear either can push you forward and make you stronger in your faith and beliefs, or it will hold you back and paralyze you. Again, all of us are writing about how they've moved through their fear, how they become stronger in their faith, and how they have arrived to this moment. So I've got quite a few of the co-authors on the show today, and I was going to talk a little bit longer, but I think I'm going to stop because I've got so many of you. Everybody's going to get a chance to be introduced to the world here. So here's who I have on the show from the book. A few of us could not make it because of other commitments. I have Trisha, Barb, Suzanne. I've got Rami, Kate, Lexi, Cindy, Therese, Vera, Ariana, Bell, Mary Jo, Terry, Nicole, oh my gosh, and Christine, and myself, Kim. So here's what I'd like to do. I would like to call out one of the co-authors and have them introduce themselves to all of you. So let's begin with Terry. Go ahead, Terry. Unmute yourself and speak to the world. All right, Terry, while you're unmuting yourself, let me come around to somebody else. Let me see. Hey, Nicole, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Kim. This is Nicole Eastman.
Hi, Nicole. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and talk a little bit about your chapter.
Okay, so my name is Nicole Eastman, and I am trained as an osteopathic doctor. However, life has brought me some uncontrollable events in my life, which have brought me to Grand Cayman, which is an island in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. So currently, that's where I'm sitting, not in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, but on the island of Grand Cayman. And I have the honor of being asked by Kim to contribute to this book. And for me, that was such a great honor because I've experienced being in a very lonely place following physical trauma. And I realized a couple years ago that I didn't want anybody else to feel the low depth that I have experienced. It makes me pretty emotional thinking about it now. But faith has really given me the ability to move forward. And so my chapter is titled Courage to Move. And through my chapter, I discuss the many ways that courage has allowed me to come to where I am today, which is a much better place than where I was a couple years ago. And it's my hope that when the readers get to my chapter, that they'll realize that they're much more courageous than they may give themselves credit for, because I never put my name and courage together in a sentence until I sat down and God really led me through the creation of this chapter, and it really opened my eyes to how far I've come. And I think so many people have been able to do more than they give themselves credit for. So it's really about self-reflection for each of the readers when they read my chapter.
Yeah, your chapter was beautiful. Of course, I had the opportunity to read all the chapters, being that I'm the compiler of the book. And Nicole, by the way, I know you're originally from Michigan. You're living in Grand Cayman. I want you to know we have snow on the ground. It's very cold. But with that being said, yeah, your courage.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Your courage, though, because I've known you now, for about 2 years, I think I've known you now when I met you, and the courage that you have had to move through your accident, what you experienced, and what you were taken away, and how you're being able to move forward with your life is one of the biggest pieces that you're giving to the readers.
Thank you.
So sit tight. We'll come back around.
Thanks, Kim.
Yes, Mary Jo.
Hi, Kim.
How are you?
I'm sorry?
How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good. Could you please introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure. I'm Mary Jo Kurtz, and I am a health and wellness coach. And I've been doing this for about 18 years, actually. I've been on this journey. I also have, I work with clients, and I founded a health and wellness store, and it's www.wellnessrecipe.com. And it's evolving right now, and I'm working with and collaborating with other wellness practitioners on the storefront. And I guess, I'm looking forward to 2014. There's many more projects that are evolving for me. So I'm very excited about it, as the book launches and so many doors are opening. And I just am filled with gratitude about the whole thing.
So, Mary Jo, could you please share the title of your chapter? It's one of my favorite titles.
Well, it's the real F word, using the real F word, and what that means, and actually, it's funny because it's really what you were talking about, Kim, and the chapter is very meaningful to me, and I'm hoping that it will be to the readers as well. It's my personal lessons on when life hands us really tough times, whether it's personal or professional, and those times, what happens to us, and we feel like we can't go on. But I've always believed that everything happens for a reason, and it's those times when we really have to. It's hard to have that belief system. So faith is where that comes in, and my chapter talks about my own experiences with this and what it took for me to really be able to live that mantra and go on. And it was about faith, but it was also about surrendering and love and gratitude, but mostly faith. And I'm just hoping that our readers can relate to that, and that that when they're faced with those kinds of situations, they can also find that faith to go on.
Yeah, that's the whole, that's beautiful, Mary Jo. Thank you. That's the whole premise of this book is I don't ever want another woman to ever feel alone again and lose hope within her business and in her life as well. And I excuse me for all the listeners, is our business and our life are not separate. They're all one. So when I do speak, I don't mean that they are separate. They do mean one, but absolutely. And again, Mary Jo, your chapter title is one of my favorites. So when we were doing this call this morning, I was thinking of you a couple of days ago, smiling because of the F word, faith and fear, and there's so many awesome F words out there. So thank you, Mary Jo. Trisha, are you there?
I am.
Hey, Trisha, could you please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your chapter?
I'm Trisha Harner. I'm a creative juju instigator and champion of women's heart's desires. I believe that each woman has mind-blowing, heart-pumping, DNA-changing ways to create their life. And I call myself a vision coach, but I don't necessarily help women see. I help them feel with their heart. And it's my heart's desire to help as many women as I can to experience exactly what they're here to experience.
Absolutely, and I haven't known you that long, Trisha, and I know that when you walk into your room, that's the first thing I think of about you, and when I see your name, that's the first thing I think of is that heart's desire and that experience. That's wonderful. So if you would, thank you, Trisha. If you could sit tight as well. Barb, are you there?
Hi, Kim. Yep, I am. This is Barbara Isley.
And please go ahead and move on forward and talk a little bit about your chapter.
Yes, I am a professional coach, and I work with primarily women, although I've worked with many men, and it really is for women to discover meaning and satisfaction in their life through expressing what's their deepest desire that's in their heart and their soul, not unlike Trisha just spoke of. Through my own experience in 2012 of losing our dream home to foreclosure, I discovered that despite many, many years of personal growth work, my identity really had a lot of rooting in the outside world. You know, the house, the address, the everything else that society says we should have. And this took me on into a very dark night of the soul. And I really began very deep work to discover what really was in my heart and what really was important to me. And how was I going to put my life together such that that was how I lived my life every day, that that was what really guided my choices.
Mm, yes. And Barb, I can't believe it's been a year. Because you and I just met face to face earlier this year, and I just cannot believe you've been through all that in such a short amount of time, within a year. And you do offer some beautiful words of wisdom in your chapter. So again, Barb, if you could sit tight, thank you for sharing that. Next, I'd like to bring on Suzanne, who's sitting live right here in my studio.
Thank you, Kim. Hi, I'm Suzanne Gabley. I am a marketing executive and I am the operator and I'm an owner and executive director for Building Blocks Preschool. And my passion is children and their early childhood education. And I believe that anything is possible. And that's the name of my chapter. So I am a visionary and I see in the future that every child deserves a quality early childhood education, and they get to be true to who they are and how God had made them. And this has been a faith walk for me, and I'm really excited about this opportunity to be part of collaborating with all of these amazing women who share such beautiful stories about themselves. And it's inspiring, and it's so powerful that you're going to see the power in unity and with the guidance of the wisdom of these stories that these women share. And you have a story, and let your light shine is my message.
Yeah, thanks so much, Suzanne. And I don't have to tell Suzanne to sit tight because I'm not letting her out my door yet. I hope you're struggling with a little bit of we've got some cold winter weather up here in Michigan. We're struggling with some sinusy stuff. So thanks, Suzanne, and I love that anything is possible. That's one of my favorite things from when I went to Africa. All right, let's bring on Rami. Rami.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Kim?
Good, Rami. How are you?
I am fabulous. Thank you so much for giving us this platform to talk to women today. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. So go ahead and tell everybody a little bit of something that you do down there in Tennessee, and I'll talk a little bit about your chapter as well.
Okay, thank you. I am Rami Kirby. I am an ideal body and detox specialist, so I'm a little more on the physical side so far of what you've heard today. I help women lose weight, manage stress, and increase energy so they can look younger, feel sexier, and even have more fun. And one of the reasons that I do that is because when my son was 16, he asked me, he said, I don't want to go to church anymore. And I said, okay, why? And he explained to me, he said, I'm tired of going to the mission and that they make the people listen to a sermon before they feed them. He said, that's not what Jesus did. Jesus, sorry, I get emotional every time I relate this conversation. Jesus fed the people, he healed them, and he did the miracle before he asked anything of them. And so that was my aha moment into treating the physical is what gets us inside and helps us to create true transformation in the spiritual and mental realm of our bodies. So, but my chapter in the book, Bold is Beautiful, is called Bold Enough to Want. And I just give my experience of, at one time I had given everything up and I became this wife, this mother, this community activist who I couldn't go to a restaurant and pick out what I wanted to eat. I would not, say, oh, I've got to go to the bathroom, let's pull over. I mean, I had given myself up that much. And as a result, I got really sick. And so my chapter is about finding my voice and learning that, you know, it's not a selfish thing to take care of yourself. And that's what I want to help inspire in not only the clients that I work with, in my yoga students, and but in the people who read this book and the women who read this book. So I give my number one tip for moving forward in my chapter.
Yes, you do. And it's a great chapter. Rami, thanks. If you could sit tight as well, that would be great.
Sure. Thank you.
Actually, Rami, I'm needing some of your hot yoga today. Kate, are you there?
I am.
Okay, Miss Kate calling all the way in from London.
Hello.
If you could move forward and introduce yourself, please, and then talk a little bit about your chapter.
Yeah, sure. My name is Kate Gardner. I am a #1 best-selling author. I am an empowerment coach, web designer, TV show host, and a whole host of other things. And my chapter is called On the Other Side of Fear is Victory. And I talk about, in my chapter, about my stroke that I experienced when I was 31 years old, and how it paralyzed me down my right hand side for 2 months, and then how I went from somebody who had zero confidence to being the international businesswoman that I am now.
And I find that so hard because I know you very well, Kate, and I keep hearing your story over and over again, and I still look at you and go, really? You know, yes, it's an amazing, powerful story what you have to offer. All of us have these amazing, powerful stories. So if you wouldn't mind sitting tight as well, Kate, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Therese.
Hello.
Hey, Therese, how are you? If you could introduce yourself, please, and talk a little bit about your chapter as well.
Yes, absolutely. So right now I do business coaching, but I have a background. I was a psychotherapist for about 25 years. And, you know, it's so funny, Kim, my story really is about the concept that you teach very often what you needed to learn. Or, you know, so I had to go through a big period of not owning the value that I brought. So here I was, I had all these skills, all these tools in mindset and transformation, and yet when I got into the business coaching world, I was too afraid to share that part. I was like playing safe. So I was like, I was a marketer and I would help people, you know, with strategy and all that. And I still do that today, but the path was very interesting, and I took a, you know, kind of a long path to get to the 6-figure mark, because I was too afraid to own what I really wanted. And it actually took, I call it an intervention. You know, I had some business girlfriends that sat me down and they did one of those really hardcore, you know, the only girlfriend love, where they just basically kick you and say, what are you doing? And so my chapter is about how to basically figure out what it is that you love, how to have the courage to express that in your business. My chapter is called How to Get Your Brilliance Out of Your Blind Spot and Into the World. And the key is being bold, having courage and being bold. So that's what I'm talking about in my chapter.
Yeah, I know, Therese. Thank you so much. And we could even throw some more F's in there. You know, that's doing that fearlessly and with a lot of faith. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Therese, if you could sit tight as well. Thank you. Vera.
Hi, Kim. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here today. My passion to support women to reclaim their feminine essence, and also I serve as a catalyst in the process of waking the consciousness in our feminine power, and for us to create a fulfilled and a meaningful life. That's what it's all about. I am a psychologist, success coach, and a marketing expert. Even though I was a psychologist, I really struggled for 15 and more years with my relationship with my mother. And this book is my opportunity to really heal about this battle with my mother. And my chapter is how I shifted from fight, compete, and control to a state of easy flow and forgiveness. Took me many years to understand and forgive what my relationship was about with my mother is she being very competitive and narcissist and really wanted to make my life the way she expects. And sharing this with the women that's going to read our book and put out officially what I was going through and what reflected my life with my relationship with men as being very competitive, really making me clear all this shadow that I have been carrying for so many years. And I already had some people tell me how people that read it, that's my friends, how they can understand much better their relationship and the meaning of a relationship from mother and daughter. And I'm very grateful for having this great opportunity to really be well with this. And even my mother was here this month, and I heard from my brother that she said, I am a different person. She's so amazing how I treat her well, and she's happy. And just for writing the book, things changed between me and her, and I didn't do too much at all. I just allowed our relationship to flow. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Vera. And I think you did a lot with just writing that book. It really helped the energetic healing to improve that relationship and stuff. That's really, that's a beautiful story. So if you could sit tight, Vera, as well. Sheila.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Good. How are you this morning?
I'm hanging in there, one day at a time.
Absolutely. Sheila, would you please introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your chapter as well?
I'm Sheila Wilson. I'm a licensed professional counselor, a licensed independent substance abuse counselor, and most importantly now in my life, I'm focusing on my board certification as a coach. With all this background, I decided to initially come out as the conscious eating coach. Since I am recovering from my own disordered eating, I know how many women especially, but men too, are out there still suffering with food issues and body issues and their relationship with food. So it was very important for me to focus on that and share that so that I could continue to grow as well. I'm just honored. It has been such a gift to be part of this project. Thank you so much, Kim, for including me and bringing me into the fold of an amazing community of extraordinary women who are so bold and fearless, even when they don't realize that they are, in living this life and creating a life worth living. My title in the book is Chapter 27, Turning Obstacles into Opportunities, because this has pretty much been the story of my life. I've had so many challenges. It was rather challenging to decide what to write about. So I selected an incident that happened to me when I was a little girl, and I also wrote about something that happened to me as an adult, about 40 years apart. And basically, the themes that I'm sharing for myself and for our readers is to really learn to trust yourself. I think I've spent most of my life, as many of my colleagues here have, second-guessing, buying other people's description of reality, believing their truth over my own truth, and even losing the ability to tap into my own intuition and insight. So life has given me amazing events and experiences to practice this. And I've learned through that greater self-care, humility, exercising healthy boundaries, and most of all, the willingness to stand alone in my truth. There have been times when it appeared that the entire outside world and establishments of courts and institutions of education were not on my side, did not see things the way I saw them, did not appreciate or respect my perception or my needs. And so I've had to stand alone with that. And as interesting as this experience continues to be in my life, there are times when I get to a place and I wonder if this is really it. God has rescued me and helped me heal and has led me to relationships and experiences that have helped me grow and be the best that I can be. But this must be the one time where I'm going to be dropped off the side of the cliff. And it's so funny with that fear because it comes up. It's like a major unconscious global program that we all drop back into. So to remember, the most important thing for me, and I want my readers to realize, is we must remember to have faith. We must remember to not and never give up.
Sheila, I'm going to step out a little bit here. And before we go any further, is there anything else, and it's totally up to you to push this a little bit more forward, is there, and you know me, is there anything else with your faith and being bold that has taken you into, has pushed you through this project and what you're sitting with? And you do not have to share that if you do not want to.
Well, thank you, Kim. Kim and I talk often, and I'm very blessed to have her in my life. She's a direct, from my experience, she's a direct in-my-face coach, and I love when she calls me on my stuff. But I also love her for giving me an opportunity to go deeper. As a psychotherapist, I do look at the emotional issues that are related to what's going on in our life. And in August, I was diagnosed with lung cancer. And you would think I would be the last person on the planet to get cancer. I'm vegan. I drink lots of water. I'm fairly healthy. I don't get sick. I don't even take aspirin. But this little cancer showed up kind of out of the blue, and it's been an incredible journey. It will probably be my own book that I will eventually write because I just learned and grew so much in the last 4 months. It's stage 1, so I caught it early, and I'm very lucky, but I'm using this whole experience because it's been traumatic, physically, emotionally, mentally, and psychologically, and I'll have to say financially, to go deeper into my own being, to understand more about my body. Thank you, Rami. And to understand the emotional underlying foundation of why I would attract this experience. I take responsibility for everything that happens in my life. It's not about self-blame or criticism. It's more about being able to work with the universe and co-create. So if I unconsciously co-created this cancer, I believe in my heart of hearts that I can create something else. So I'm on a path right now that's non-conventional in my treatment to get rid of the cancer by helping my body heal itself. If I end up having to have surgery, in 4 or 5 months after I've given myself a chance to heal, then that's the ultimate treatment as far as Western medicine is concerned. So it's just been an amazing transition. And part of what I'm learning that I can share right now is that you can live with cancer. It's not a death sentence. It's not the end of the world. I'm doing this deep healing work because I don't want to recreate the cancer. I really want to understand why it is in my life. And already the changes that I've made in my lifestyle and self-care, I'm viewing cancer as a real gift. It has really helped me get to the basics of who I am. I'm not going to withhold anymore. As another psychotherapist in our group said, I'm going to be bold enough to be all of me. I expect that some may not agree with what I say. I may not even like or criticize what I do. But I've finally owned it, that this is my life. And I'm owning it with passion. And I'm going deeper inside, and I'll be showing up greater on the outside.
And we've kept that very silent through this whole project, Sheila, and I chose to do that out of respect to you. But what you were saying today, I knew it was time to take a step into it, because you've got your Bold as Beautiful sisters here on this show today, and the ones that could not attend, they're there for you when they have other commitments. And it's time for all these readers and listeners right now to understand the things sometimes that we have to do to step into that faith drop the fear, manage the fear, get on the other side of that fear to move forward. So thank you for letting me put you on the spot like that and pull that out. I really appreciate it. If you can sit tight, that would be great. Thank you for Sheila, thank you for allowing me to do that and sharing that with all of us.
Thank you, Kim.
Ariana.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Could you please introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what it is that you do out there in California?
Well, I am Ariana Lisa Newcomer, and I'm a transformational voice coach. My website is reclaimyourauthenticvoice.com, and that's the title of my chapter, Reclaim Your Authentic Voice. And I tell the story of having been a professional opera singer and then losing my voice, and then losing my marriage to my kid's dad, and everything that I had to do to come back from that and to reclaim my authentic voice. And a lot of the women on this call have talked about needing to find their voice and come back from real challenges. And my challenge wasn't nearly as great as cancer or a terrible accident, for instance, but it's really given me the opportunity to finally weave together all of the pieces of myself and to bring that into my work with women. And I teach conscious women entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors to own and voice their value, release blocks to full self-expression, align their inner voice with their outer voice, and speak with power and confidence from their authentic selves. And I just love doing this work. I thought being a singer was the thing that I was meant to do, but this is so much richer and deeper for me. And so there are things beyond what we think that we can do. And we also don't realize often that we are not expressing ourselves fully. And I find over and over with my clients that women think they're expressing themselves and they're actually not. So when we open up the full range of self-expression of their voice, they realize where they've been holding themselves back. So if you're holding your voice back, you're holding yourself back. So working with your voice is actually a way to kind of break through a lot of the blocks that we have created unconsciously, because we make unconscious decisions about how to sound based on things that happened in our lives, like being told, for instance, as a child, that girls should be seen and not heard, which happened for one of my clients. So I am just delighted to be part of this book project with all of these other wonderful women who've been through so much and come through it and are so inspirational. And thank you so much, Kim, for inviting me to be part of it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for participating. And if you could also, too, Ariana, if you don't need to run, if you could sit tight as well. Thank you. Cindy, who is here physically in my studio? Yay! Another co-author here physically.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Kim, so much for pulling this whole book together. I'm Cindy Nunnery, and I am a certified holistic health coach and was schooled at the Integrative Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and I'm also a member of the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. A few months back, Kim and I were talking, and I had put out to the universe about wanting to write a book, and then Kim started talking about this project that she had, and I was so very excited, and my heart's pounding right now. I mean, this whole process has just been outstanding, a great journey, and there's no end to it because I just see, other things coming. I work with women mostly, and I'm very passionate about helping women and men and people and kids become more energized in their life. There's a time when I went through my life without energy, and it's not just wanting to stay in bed kind of energy, but without the energy to live the life that you want to live. And I help people to become their most powerful and energized selves so that they can do what they want to do and be up to the great things that they want to be up to. And I believe that we can all be happy, healthy, and energized every day. It's my tagline, and it's also the title of the book. And my chapter is about really feelings that are associated with that, with being happy, with being healthy, with being energized, with being a leader, with being who we want to be and doing what we want to do. And like I mentioned, I went through life to get things, to earn things, to become something. And I made it happen, but there just wasn't the satisfaction there. It was without feeling being part of it. And it really felt empty, all those successes. And when I started to write, to even think about what to write in my chapter, that's what, came forth with me. And it's about getting in touch with what we want to do and how we want that to feel for us. And when we get in touch with the feelings that we want to get out of what we're doing, it becomes very, very clear and so much more powerful in what we do to make it happen and what the result of the whole journey that we're doing for that. So it's really about, as Danielle Laporte, somebody that I love, and her Desire Map, which is a fabulous book, she says it's about finding your guiding light. So it's really about, digging into what are our desires to feel. And, we as women, we like to feel things, yet we have to bury them so much. So it's really about bringing it forth. And of course, I'm from Detroit, and there's a quote that I have in the chapter from Kid Rock, who is also from Detroit. You wouldn't think that Kid Rock and I have much in common, but I saw this, and it's just a simple quote, and it just really holds it true. And it is, if it looks good, you'll see it. If it sounds good, you'll hear it. If it's marketed right, you'll buy it. But if it's true, you'll feel it. Yeah. And that's Kid Rock. And I said, that's exactly how we need to live our life, true to ourselves and feeling everything that goes along with it by design, not by chance. So that's really what this journey's been. And again, thank you, Kim, and all the fabulous women here. It's just been outstanding meeting everyone and getting to know all you ladies.
Thanks, Cindy. Thanks. By the way, to all the co-authors on this call, I'm going to do this, but Suzanne and Cindy are holding the book as we are speaking. Beautiful. It is very pretty. Just wait till you all get your hands on her. Oh my gosh, she's absolutely stunning. Okay, thanks, Cindy. Sit tight. Well, she's going to sit tight because I'm not letting her out my front door either. Let me see. Belle, if you could come on and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your chapter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Belle Cohen. I hope I don't cough. I've had this nasty whatever it is for 2.5 weeks. But first of all, to all the women out there who are listening and my co-authors, this morning has been an incredible lesson in how wonderful it is to bring people from all over the world together on a project. And of course, Kim is the leader. We all appreciate that so very much because I'm taking notes on everything that has been going on in this conversation. The name of my chapter is How to Plan for an Extraordinary Life. I came into the project a little late, and there was a death in the family, which obviously impacted my chapter. And what I take away from all of this is that there was a lot of learning and growing that went on in my life in the last few years. And that as a caretaker and caregiver, it was time for me to step outside of that box and try to take care of me and try to do things that would benefit my life. And I really think that this is the stepping stone right here, this book launch. So I'm thrilled about it. My background is in dental hygiene, and I
did a lot of consulting and coaching in my 25 years in that field. And I am a coach, a business development and life coach, and trained through Coach University. And one thing I wanted to mention to everyone that's on the call is that there's an opportunity out there for a 501c3 nonprofit. And I'm hoping that as part of our book venture, all of us can jump on board and do wonderful, fabulous things for women across the world and the country, and especially in the USA. So there's a joint venture there for all of us. And Kim, thanks again for everything. It's been a wonderful journey so far.
Oh, thanks, Belle. And you know what? And you didn't cough, and that's a good sign. You're getting better. Okay. I know Terry had to get off the show at 10:30, but I just want to call out to Terry one more time just to double check. Terry, are you there? I didn't think so. She had to go. Christine, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Hi, Christine. Could you please introduce yourself? Talk a little bit about your chapter.
Sure. I'm Christine Cottagio. I am just so thrilled to be here. I haven't had the opportunity to meet with many of the co-authors yet, and I have to tell you, I cannot wait to get my hands on this book and read all the beautiful stories. There's so much to learn from everyone here. It's incredible. And it's been a beautiful journey. Kim, you've done a fabulous job in bringing together all the right people for this book. And it's just, I'm listening to all the stories and I'm just amazed. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Chapter is Embrace Change. All endings have new beginnings. And like many of the other co-authors, I started out with a very normal, calm life and existence. And then a few years back, had an avalanche of change. And my life has been all about change since then. But I talk about embracing change and I deal with women in transition because so many of us have so many challenges that we go through in our life. And I realized when I was going through my own that there were options. When you're going through stuff, we have options. We can kind of put the covers over our head and, find other ways to kind of soothe ourselves. But being bold and taking the steps to work on ourselves and pull ourselves out of our circumstance to come back stronger and better than ever, that really is what makes us beautiful. And it's such an inner beauty that we don't really acknowledge in ourselves. And so my chapter, talking about some of those experiences, also is to make other women who are reading it realize that the endings and the circumstance we're going through really do open up new opportunities. They really do lead us to where we're supposed to be. Because I think as we go through that stuff, we spend a little bit more time listening to our inner selves and understanding what we're really about and really thinking about who we are. We become a little bit more authentic in our life. And I think that brings us to the path that we're meant to follow. And so I work with a lot of my clients as a life transition coach on a lot of those issues because we all go through so much of this stuff every day. And really the whole experience really is meant to make us stronger and make us bolder. And I'm just so proud to be able to wear the title of Bold is Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kim.
Oh, thank you, Christine. And absolutely, each and every one of you wear the Bold is Beautiful title so beautifully and so power filled, and it's so. I'm sitting here in the studio. I'm looking at Suzanne and Cindy, and I'm holding my hands up. My palms are perspiring in such a great way with all the energy going on. My heart is pounding it. My heart feels so big. I was going through something really wonderful last night, which I did post a little bit on our private Facebook wall, and then being able to be here in the studio and having you all, like I said, not all 27 of us are here because of commitments, but having the majority of you here has been just amazing. Okay, we have one more co-author, Lexi.
Hello, and thank you so much. I'm so honored to be part of this amazing journey. My name is Dr. Lexis Johnson, and I'm a transformation and transmutation coach and an angel intuitive reading coach. I wrote chapter 10, which is Turn Your Sneaky, Scary, Sorrowful Stress into Sexy, Sleek, and Succulent Success. And when busy women don't know how to deal with their muffin top, which is the brain fog, the belly fat, being bummed out, I help them understand how stress causes so many illnesses and all these symptoms, and what the solution is and the right diet specifically for you. I work through holistic alternative nutrition and diet strategies, as well as I work through the energetic bodies of the emotion, mental, and spiritual. My website is muffintopdiet.com. I'm board certified through the AADP and the AAMA, and the gist of my chapter is commitment to choice and never giving up. I talk about the path that I've taken as a mother of 7 children who ended up getting divorced before my little one was even 2 years old, and all the stresses and struggles that I went through, the 7 years it took to get a divorce, 3 years after that, and the health issues, the fibromyalgia, and I had fluid on my lungs called pleurisy, and I had an ulcer, and I had Crohn's disease and celiac disease, and all these things all at the same time, and I was pregnant. And I couldn't heal, I couldn't get a doctor to do anything because it would probably induce labor and it was too soon to deliver the baby. So I had to find alternative healing strategies to help myself. And I was so successful in doing that my whole family's life improved through the diet and the energetic work that I did. Friends started asking me to help them, and it just blossomed from there. And I eventually decided I better get some training so I'm absolutely sure that what I'm doing for other people will work for them. Just because it worked for me doesn't mean it'll work for others. And I ended up becoming an educationaholic, and to this day I'm still getting educated, and I'll always take more and more courses. But my message to the women out in your audience, and I generally work with business women aged 35 to 55, but all women must understand this. Your hormones, also called neurochemicals, are so important, and the receptors of the cells in your body replace themselves between every 48 hours and 8 months. You have a whole new body, and everything in your life, those cells are waiting for you to send them the right signals, and you can do that through the choices you make. There's nothing out there that you can't choose a different path, and I'm here to help you find out what those paths are so that you can have a whole new life, whether it's your body or your career or the relationships that you're involved in. It all starts with choice and commitment to never give up.
Wonderful, Lexi. Thank you very much. And if you could just sit tight as well, too. What I'd like to add, first of all, did I go through all the co-authors that are on this show today? I do not want to miss anybody. I don't know if anyone snuck in after we got started. I just want to cover the bases there. Okay, great. So I would like to add, Ariana hit it home for me, because the name of my chapter is You Are to Be Seen and Not Heard, because that's what I was told my whole life growing up, which played a major thing on my self-esteem and my self-confidence, which took me down some paths where I compromised my health. And my message in my chapter is no matter what we were told when we were younger or even just yesterday, that it's not true we are who we are. Our true being is who we are and who we are being. And one of my favorite quotes is by Oscar Wilde. Be you, because everyone else is taken. And so with that being said, I'm sitting here with 27 beautiful, bold is beautiful. Oh my gosh, these women are beautiful inside and out, that are being themselves and showing themselves all to the world, and not holding back, which is absolutely beautiful. I could not have asked for any more as the compiler of this book. Every single one of these women have stepped up to the plate, and they just showed themselves. They just opened up, and that's what I wanted for all of them to share with women. Do not lose hope. Do not give up. And there are some obstacles and trials and tribulations to get to our dreams. By the way, those go on every single day. That's a whole other radio show, by the way. So again, it's having women know that being bold is very beautiful. And yeah, sometimes being bold can be bitchy, but being bold, bottom line, is oh so beautiful. So ladies, we have about 5 minutes left, and I want to say real quickly, the link for our book is, yes, I know, is www.amazon.com. Bold is beautiful. It is ready to be purchased as we are all sitting here right now. So the book is available, but before, we've got a couple more minutes, and before we wrap this all up, would anyone like to share really quickly what their why is? Why are they here in this moment and chose to step into this project? And if you step out, please say your name so we know who you are.
Hi, Kim. This is Barb Isley.
Hi, Barb.
Yeah, so I stepped into this project because I discovered through writing and being very vulnerable and very honest in my first book. So I know that I didn't put this sentence together well. So I wrote a chapter in another book this year called Hot Mama in High Heels. And in that book, I really revealed very vulnerably the pain and how despondent I was over the loss of our home. And I found that in being vulnerable, in really with myself and with a small circle of friends first, and then through the book, that my life changed. And so I wrote, I wanted to step into this and tell people that when you're bold, your life changes. There's no way it can be the same.
Yeah, you're so right, Barb. And you know what? That is what is happening again, second time for you today, as well as all of the our co-authors that are their first time. You have all stepped into being bold, and there's no turning back. And your lives, all of your lives, starting today, will change, and it's so amazing. It's almost indescribable, right, Barb?
Absolutely. I remember the afternoon that our book went as bestseller. I mean, I was between being giddy and laughing and crying because I couldn't believe that I had really stepped in and that this was my life. I mean, it was like overwhelming to me. I felt expansive and free inside. I felt like I could fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to hear from one. Thanks, Barb. I'd like to hear from one more co-author. We have a couple minutes left here, and whoever steps out and to talk about their why, again, just identify yourself, please.
Hey, Kim, it's Trish.
I heard. Oh my God, I heard.
I'll just say something really quick.
Okay.
Because I think it's really important. It's because of my daughters who are home from school today. Being able to be in here and talk about Bold is Beautiful and be a part of this book and listening to all of you beautiful souls that are co-authors, there is no better reason for me or no other why than because of my daughters, so that they know that they can step out of their own box and create their own heart's desire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What an awesome role model, Tricia, you are. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Do you guys want to share anything?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
My why is that I just want everyone to have their own light shine. And I think it's really important that we all speak our voice. And this was an opportunity to share a voice for me. It's been a lifelong dream that it's been on my bucket list for a long time. So thank you, Kim.
My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, ladies, we are going to wrap this up. If I could ask all of you to sit tight in my beautiful green room there in my studio, just kind of sit tight and let me just wrap this program up. First of all, thank you for making adjustments in your schedule today, because I know we're all over the world, all in different time zones for being on the show this morning. I want to say again, my name is Kim Boudreaux Smith, and this is broadcasting live from the boldradiostation.com. And here we go. The link for the book is Amazon.com. Bold is beautiful. She's waiting. Please support these women into driving this book up to becoming a bestseller today. Please go to the link, grab yourself a copy, sit down with your favorite beverage, and really get to know these women. And by the way, each and every single one of these women in their chapters, in the beginning of their chapters, are all the links, their websites, their social media, all their links on how you can reach out and connect with these women. So ladies, sit tight in that green room. Again, everybody, thank you so much. I will hear all of you listening on Monday evening, where it's Bold Mindful Monday. It's on the Lead Her Up Is In Women on the Rise radio show, launching live from the Bold Radio Station. Go make it a great weekend, and don't forget to go to Amazon.com.